Jesse.
I'm your boy Chris from Peace on the Streets Radio Show.
We're live at Tampa for the Super Bowl experience.
Yeah.
And you're kicking it with Peace on the Streets.
Welcome back to Peace on the Streets Radio Show, and that's part of our experience at the Super Bowl premiere this weekend. You guys, we had an awesome time last weekend.
We did, yes. We actually just somewhat came back from Tampa on Saturday. What an amazing experience to be at the Super Bowl experience.
Yes, guess what? I can't wait to get to
Where?
Daytona. Maybe it's one you never know. I would love to get to Daytona, and we do have a friend that's there at Daytona. We do have a NASCAR driver that's on the he's on the station tonight.
He is, absolutely. His name is Jesse. If you guys don't know, you need to look him up.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yes,
Not
it
only
is.
that, he's also, if I'm not mistaken, a veteran for the United States military.
Nice.
It's a big deal. He served our country.
Right. How you doing, Mr. Jesse?
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, how's it going? Doing all right? How's everyone doing over there?
We doing well, man. We want to thank you and thank you for being a part of Peace on the Streets Radio Show, brother. We really appreciate you for being on.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you for having me.
Yes, your resume is impressive. It's so intensive. It's amazing, Prince, when I was looking at his resume. And thank you for being with us as it is, guys, Black History Month. So we're bringing a lot of people that actually made a movement in our history, guys, because this is on our books. And it's impressive. So, Jesse, for all the listeners that are tuning in Florida, around the world, please express to them exactly what you do. What is your passion that you live in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, right. I guess I'm living a bunch of lives right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of different things. So I'm currently in the Navy. I currently race in NASCAR, and I'm also a business owner, multiple businesses. As far as the Navy, I've been in the Navy the last 10 years now. I'm currently a lieutenant commander. I'm an officer in the Navy. Prior to getting in the Navy, I went to the U.S. Naval Academy, where I played football and ran track there for about 4 years. Graduated from there in 2010 before becoming a surface warfare officer in the Navy. And as a surface warfare officer, I've been on 2 different ships, 2 different deployments with those ships.
Wow.
My last deployment was in 2014 with the ships, and then since then I've been overseas just once. I've been mainly on land since then. And I started developing this passion for cars and racing somewhere around 2011, 12, 13. And then finally in 2014, I just made a decision. I was like sitting down and said, hey, I like cars. I like racing. Why not try to take this to the next level? Why not try to become a professional race car driver? And that's where my journey began. And then at that point, I started grinding my way to figure it out. And eventually launched myself in the position where I'm at now, racing professionally. But it took a lot of hard work, a lot of execution, networking, meeting the right people, all that stuff.
That's it.
Along the way, I started some businesses too to help, build up the entrepreneurship side of my life, so that I could have something that was also, that would also build something more long lasting. And so I wouldn't have to rely on sports to, be my main source of income.
Very clever. See what I mean? His resume?
Yeah,
I mean, he came from being a Navy officer over to NASCAR and then also in entrepreneurship. So he's done a lot of things. And I always said, don't be afraid to reach out, guys, to have yourself dipped into several different things. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's kind of the way for success right now in order to build money for what's going on with the coronavirus.
Exactly.
You got to dip into a lot of different things, friends.
So with getting to NASCAR, I bet that was when. Do they have to pick you?
How did you get chosen for that?
How did you get chosen?
Good question.
For that,
Yeah, so getting in NASCAR, it's a lot different than other sports. In the NFL and the NBA, NHL, MLB, usually there's a draft, and then people get drafted every year. In NASCAR, it's a little bit different. It's not made up like that. There is no draft. It's more of just, if you're good at driving a car, you can drive it clean, you can, do it without wrecking all the time, and make the most of the equipment that you have. Some teams will notice you like that, but mainly, really, it's all about funding. At the end of the day, for the teams to get to the track and for the teams to race, they need a certain amount of money to be able to do it.
I was just
because
fixing to
tires
say.
aren't free.
Okay.
People aren't free. Cars aren't free. Transporting the vehicles and the team and all that stuff. None of that stuff's free. Someone has to pay that bill. And unlike other sports, you look at football. Well, Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, they're able to generate revenue from ticket sales and from merchandise and all that stuff. And they use that money to pay their players. Whereas in NASCAR, these teams, they don't own the tracks. They don't own anything but their equipment. So the winnings for each race aren't even enough to cover all the expenses that they're spending, at the track. So you got to bring in a driver who's able to attract sponsorship. And that sponsorship that the driver can attract is what allows the team to go race. So sometimes a team will go with a driver who can attract more sponsorship than others because that's what allows them to go to the track, even though that driver might not even be better as a driver than some of the other drivers. At the end of the day, you gotta be able to pay the bills, or else you won't be at the track, period.
I didn't know the logistics of it all. That was a really good question, Prince. So they don't even make that money even to compensate from what they've actually been spending in order to get there. So it's all about funding.
Sponsorship.
Like you said, wow, I can imagine the workload that they have to do in order to get that.
How many cars do you have?
Well, so our race team, I don't own the race team, but I'm planning on eventually owning my own race team. But each race team usually has quite a bit of cars and for each team, just because each track you go to is different. There's mainly there's super speedway tracks, intermediate tracks, short tracks, and road course tracks, and a lot of teams will have a car for each one of those type of tracks. So most teams will have at least 4 different types of cars there, even though they all look the same to the human eye. They're different in different ways. But then from there, also between those 4 different vehicles that they have, they'll have 3, 4, 5, 6 of those ones. So some teams you'll have 20 cars per team or something like that.
Wow.
So it just depends.
Racing is expensive.
I think that's the most expensive sport.
Horses.
Is it horses? You're right about that.
Horses is expensive too. Wow. Okay. So what have you opened up at? What's your top speed?
Well, every track is a different size. So when you go to the smaller tracks, like the short tracks, typically you're not getting up to more than like 120, 130 miles per hour. But then you go to intermediate track, which is a 1.5 mile track. At those tracks, you can be going anywhere between 180 and 190 miles per hour. Woo. And then you go to a super speedway. Super speedways, you can see speeds of up to 200 miles per hour.
Wow.
Man.
The fastest I ever been was 100. Illegally, sorry. Just to try it one time.
So to open it up is nothing for you. I mean, that's just like open up a can of paint with you. I mean, when you open that bad boy up.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, going around a corner at 150 plus miles per hour.
Wow.
It's not too bad. And doing it next to people, too, that makes it even more fun.
Man. So that's the sport of it. It's fast you can go, but then maneuvering around everyone without touching everybody.
Exactly. You got to do it with some grace and do it with some smooth skill. It's not easy. It takes a lot of time to learn, but once you do it, or once you get used to it, it's not too bad.
How long you been racing?
I've been racing about 5 years, and actually this is my 6th year now.
Hey.
But since 2015.
So do you do Daytona as well?
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah, so NASCAR is divided up into a lot of different series. The top series, which most people know about, is the NASCAR Cup Series, and then right below that's the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and then right below that's the NASCAR Truck Series, and then below that are all of the regional series. But the ones you mainly see on TV are the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and Cup Series. So for me, I have raced at Daytona when I was in the ARCA Series, which is below the Truck Series. I haven't raced at Daytona since. Trying to see if I can race this year. We'll see.
Is that track crazy?
It is crazy. It's fast. It's a fast track. It's a very fast track.
What makes a track fast?
For that particular track, it's fast because of the size. So you look at that. You look at Daytona. You look at Talladega. They're very similar. They're super speedways. Both of them are 2.5 miles long, pretty much, which is a big oval. I mean, you can fit a small town inside the infield of those tracks. But
yes.
Because of that, they become very fast.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Gotcha. That's what makes it fast. I guess the bigger it is, the faster you can. The
larger it is. Okay.
And when I go there and I look over there, man, it's almost like
That's
going.
large. It's
I was
huge.
like, my goodness, how
Yes.
big it is. You know?
It is huge. I can't wait to go there one day. We've never been to Daytona NASCAR.
Okay.
Never.
Hey, sooner or later.
So we're going to broadcast there, right, Prince?
Most definitely. I love it. And so, what would you tell a youth that's thinking about getting into it, and what would your advice be to somebody young that's thinking about being a driver?
Which is my son that's 8 years old. He said he wants to be a professional race car driver because he likes to be fast.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all possible. It's all possible. The biggest thing is you have to learn all aspects of the business. So not only just learning how to drive a race car, which you can learn by jumping in go-karts, jumping in other kind of race cars, smaller ones, and building your way up. You got to learn the business side of it too. Like I mentioned before, funding is a very big part of it. So if you got to learn how to be a fundraiser and also learn how to drive a race car. When you put two of those things together, then you can be an effective and attractive race car driver. But if you only have one and not the other, then you're not as wanted. So you really got to learn the business side of it to learn, okay, how do I make the dollars and cents work? How do I find a company and bring them in and show them that there's a return on their investment by sponsoring you, and maybe you have to do a business-to-business connection where you connect them with other businesses. Maybe you got to do some type of marketing campaigns with them because they have some marketing initiatives they're trying to reach. Whatever it is, you got to learn the business side of NASCAR or just racing in general, and you got to understand how to race also. So you put that together, that's what's going to help you be effective. And then along your journey, be creative. Don't be like everyone else. Be creative. Find your way. Find your story. Know your story. And that's what you got to sell is your story. Be creative. Never let other people put you down. Many will tell you that, your journey isn't possible because of whatever reason. I always tell people, something I learned from Les Brown, never let the opinions of others ever become your reality. And that's super true because when you're going along a journey, there will be haters. There'll be people who try to bring you down. But life does reward those who stay strong enough, long enough.
That's good. I love it, brother. I love it. Well, you're always a part of Peace on the Streets radio show. Whatever race you have coming up, we would love to hear from you. Our time is kind of running a little short. But get a listeners, how can we find you? Give us all your contact information.
Yeah. So anybody who wants to look me up, just go on social media and type in my name. That's Jesse, Jesse. Last name is Iwuji, Iwuji. If you can't remember how to spell it, just go on Google, type in Navy NASCAR driver, and I should be the only one that pops up.
That's amazing.
So look me up on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, you name it. I'm on every single one of them. Look me up, follow me. Any questions, shoot me a DM. I answer pretty much all my messages. And yeah, I'm out here grinding. The more support, the better. Like, share everything I do.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it, guys. Make sure you do reach out to him. He's amazing, and he has a patient of a saint. So we appreciate you, Jesse. Very insightful information, but you're related to our audience.
Yes.
I'm so happy to hear that because that will encourage so many of us. Thank you so much, Jesse, ladies and gentlemen. Navy officer and also NASCAR driver, Jesse Iwuji.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Jesse. God bless you, brother.
Thank you.
Peace on the streets.
That's right, guys. Don't forget, every Wednesday here from 9 to 11 p.m. Let's play it, Mr. DJ.